College basketball is on some kind of run. St. John's, UConn on Friday.
Yes.
UNC, Duke, Michigan State, Illinois on Saturday. We watch football on Sunday a little bit. On Monday, Kansas, Arizona. And then on Tuesday, we get 2 overtime games in the Big Ten. Top 10 teams losing at home. Meantime, a third of the NBA is currently tanking for our best players. Norlander, good to see you on this Wednesday morning. We're having a fun time, aren't we?
We are. And by the way, your boy here couldn't love the Winter Olympics more, so that every morning and afternoon is a fun little bonus as well. We have had 7 teams ranked in the top 10 lose over a 5-day period, starting with UConn's loss at the Johnnies on Friday. So UConn was 3, it lost Friday. Duke and Illinois lost on Saturday when they were respectively ranked 4 and 5. Arizona, number 1, goes down on Monday. If you want more of that conversation, go back into the feed. We touched on that on our Eye on College Basketball CBS Sports Network Tuesday show. So go find that. It's in the feed waiting for you, or right here on this YouTube channel. And then last night, Iowa State, Nebraska, and Illinois all fall 5, 7, and 8 respectively. We'll touch all those games on this episode. Let's start with Pinnacle Bank. I mean, Purdue walked in and Nebraska slipped and fell on its ass.
You realize that's like the toughest thing for me.
Yes.
That's like the hardest thing for me to go through is Purdue winning inside Pinnacle Bank because I don't know how to feel.
You got all sorts of conflicting emotions. Shouts to Brett Strelo, former really good college hoop scribe who sent this. Who created a slippery when wet, you don't just walk into Pinnacle Bank hazard sign just for us. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. This was almost catastrophic for Purdue. I mean, they ultimately get the win. And when it gets time to Selection Sunday and we're sorting out the resumes and we're figuring out what teams are on seed lines and all that stuff, the fact that Purdue almost blew 22-point lead, but even beyond that, it was what, Parrish? It was like 14 with 2 and change to go. It was almost really, 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 really,
let
bad.
me be completely honest with you. We're in studio. There was a million things going on, including updated rundowns and, hey, can you do this highlight instead of this highlight? Like, everybody thinks we're just sitting in a studio watching basketball all night. That's not really how it works. We are doing pre-taping stuff and, TikTok stuff. Like, there's a million things going on. I could not believe when somebody told me this game's going to overtime. What? How? What? Like, what happened? They were up 22 at one point and then up a million with nothing left. The game was over and then it wasn't. It was a wild Tuesday night.
And this was after Nebraska got off to just an awful start. Like Purdue had control of this game for the majority of it and should have won comfortably. Now, credit for Nebraska for flipping it and getting it to overtime period. It was Purdue's first overtime of the season. Nebraska loses its 3rd game in a 4-game span, also its first overtime game of the season, 80-77 final. Few notes on the game. Purdue is 6-2 on the road, has top 10 wins now over Alabama and Nebraska. Very quality victories, obviously, and good for Purdue, which is now, depending on how you want to slot it, it's either like the last 2 or the first 3 on the overall seed hierarchy. There's plenty more for Purdue to do here, so its placement is going to be shifting with the quickness here. Oscar Clough at 12 and 14. He actually had the bucket that gave Purdue the lead that won with like 6 seconds to go in overtime. I thought he was key. Purdue launched 46 threes in this game, which broke the record by 10. The previous high watermark for Purdue in a game for triples, not made, but attempted, was 36. That had been done 4 times. Fletcher Lawyer alone said, "It's my night, folks." He took 17 3-point attempts. It's not the most in school history. Carson Edwards in that huge game against Virginia, where he was incredible, but Purdue didn't win the Elite 8. A few years back in Louisville, I was at that one. He took 19 threes in that game. Lawyer, for his part, 17 3-point attempts, 18 points overall. He led the team in scoring, but needed a ton of shots to get there and get it done. Purdue won the game in the aggregate because it mauled Nebraska on the boards. The margin is one thing, and rebound margin can be misleading, but it was 54-37. That is notable. Purdue was able to really just exert its will and prevent Nebraska from a lot of second chance opportunities on the glass, which I thought was key. TKR in this game wasn't an offensive force whatsoever, but he had by himself 19 snags, which I thought was significant. I really thought Nebraska was going to come back and pull it out in overtime. Rick Mass had a big play near the end there, but Purdue wins a wild night in the Big Ten. We'll obviously get to the Illinois stuff in just a second. Nebraska may be a little bit of a regression to the mean, I guess. Purdue, I don't even know at this point. Like it's 1-3 in a row, and the win over to Maryland on the road wasn't close. You like to see that. Maryland's awful, whatever, but narrowly beat Oregon over the weekend. And then here you had it, and then you were just trying to give it away. Didn't give it away now. Shouts to Anthony Kiedis. As a result, Purdue is 20-4 with a 10-3 record in the league, and it has games against Iowa and Michigan upcoming. I know you're busy doing a little list of all that. Just broad takeaways on another team walked right in. They just walked right in there. Pinnacle Bank GP.
I'm conflicted. I don't know how to feel about that. On one hand, I want to be proud of my Boilermakers for walking into Pinnacle Bank.
Your Boilermakers, okay.
I mean,
I think your meter's down to about like 18% at this point.
That's not fair. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to me. That's not being fair to me.
Do it to yourself, and that's what really hurts.
I stood by the Boilermakers when they got beat by 70,000 points in the national championship game by UConn. I was still there with them. To discard me now is not fair to me. You can't discard me now. I stood by you while every person in the planet was telling me they're going to lose to UConn by 1,000. I was like, no, I'm a Boilermaker. I stood by. It's not fair to me to discard me now. I was with you when Donovan Clingan was killing you or whoever that was. I was there for that. It's not fair to discard me now. So I don't know how to feel right now. On one hand, I'm loyal to Pinnacle Bank. On the other hand, I'm loyal to Purdue, and that was a weird Tuesday night. I don't know why you don't wrap up Oscar Clough there, though. How do you let him get that shot in?
Mm-hmm.
You have to just – I mean, I've never really played basketball, but I know you have to grab
– there's a line to cross. At a certain point, it's going to be 2 shots in the ball, so I understand.
Anyway.
Big boy, yeah.
And Fletcher Lawyer, like, honestly, as you're watching that play, it looks like he's over-dribbling. Like, bro, pass it or shoot it.
I completely agree. I actually hated it as it was playing out, Parrish.
I hated it as it was playing out.
What is going on right now?
What are you doing? Pass it or shoot it.
I actually thought Smith had the shot in the paint, and he didn't take it. I was like, they're going to lose. Like, what's going on? But they didn't. Got it.
They did. No. I was like, pass it or shoot it. If you bounce that ball one more time, you are making a mistake. But then he found it. He dumped it off. The play happened. And maybe that's a turning point for the season. As Matt said after the game, we did not want to get to overtime because when you're up 22, you never want to get to overtime. That's like just basic stuff. You're up 22, you don't want to get to overtime. But they got to overtime. They handled it. Now they're 3-3 in their past 6. They've offset that 3-game losing streak with a 3-game winning streak. That's a nice win. All jokes aside, Pinnacle Bank might not be what I've made it out to be over the years, but going in there and getting that win, that's a big time win. That's a big time win for that program that needed it and still has sights on a Final Four and whatever comes next. And they showed the type of character at least that makes you think maybe that's possible still.
Before we go to the next game, just an update on Smith, who bumped up the all-time assists ranks again. In this game, Smith had 13 points, 10 dimes. So one of his better distribution games in recently. He's now at 968. He passed Syracuse's Sherman Douglas in this game. His next target is Steve Blake of Maryland, who had 972. So Braden should move up to 6 in the game against Iowa upcoming this weekend.